So, Saurav, how much you have experience right now?
Approx 4 years of total experience.
Okay. So, currently you are working in which organization?
Yeah, I'm working with Oracle right now.
Oracle. Okay. Oracle, Bombay, Pune, or which location?
Bangalore location.
Bangalore location. Okay. So, technology wise, you know Java and SQL,
Spring Boot, Hibernate.
Springboard, JPA, Docker, JUnit, Redis. Okay.
Yeah.
So, my first question, uh, which cases we are using Redis? Redis is in memory database or what kind of database this Redis?
Yeah. So Redis is in-memory database.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have any separate thing. So it will be in memory of the application. It's an in-memory database.
Okay. So why we are using? What is the objective of that?
So Redis basically solves the purpose like if there is any frequent similar query or a query which is suppose we are using SQL in the backend database. So if there is a frequent same query which is getting fetched, so
Mm-hmm.
that can be cached in Redis. And instead of hitting the database for a repetitive query
Mm-hmm.
from the Redis, we can get the data instead of hitting the databases, which is more costly.
Okay. So same query if you are hitting, so you can catch up in Redis, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So Redis, the same data type is stored in Redis or only you store query?
No, we store the data. I mean, whatever data it comes and in the format like how we want, we can store it in the Redis and then we can fetch it for that query maybe.
Okay. Means you want to tell, suppose some data commonly you are using, so that data you can maintain in Redis
Yeah.
and reducing the burden of hits in
Yes,
database.
in database.
Any other more advantage of that?
Um, Advantage is it's low latency. I mean, I mean, hitting the database would be. I mean, it's the latency could be more, but
Hmm.
it's as the Redis is in memory. So hitting a Redis cache would be more beneficial than going to the database
So
again.
the caching mechanism you can apply in JPA, second level cache because of
Yeah,
you are using the
second level cache of Hibernate.
so through the Hibernate you can maintain it. Why you are using additional Redis database?
Um,
You got my point?
yeah, I got your point.
Yeah.
So um,
No, I think this is not used for this scenario. Query scenario is not used
mhm,
because of Redis. Generally, we are used whenever we are frequently. Suppose you are log in, log out, and session maintaining aspect. You can utilize the Redis. The same data. You suppose you have user, you are logged in, but uh, you have given the session timeout 5 minutes. Okay.
mhm.
So in that scenario, your session will time out, but once you refresh, it will take up your valid detail from the Redis again login. Or you can say, suppose you want to some token mechanism, JWT token or something. So that kind of things I can do that through the Redis. That would be a better
Better
solution for
approach.
that.
Yeah.
But query is not a better solution because of why you will query data you maintain is suppose your query is 1000 time is hitting in per day, so it means you are unnecessary size of data you increasing in the Redis and you store in system environment. So a small piece of code, a small piece of data we can manage through the Redis. This would be helpful. But this is not a part of your explanation means query data or something. Suppose you have written query, select from just example, just give you uh, where employee is equal to 10 for that is I'm giving the example. So if you fire this query, employee 10 have some different kind of things, you got the 100 data. So your 100 data you will store in Redis. So what is the objective of using to this?
Yeah, basically small data only. Like so, I have used it in a restaurants place. Like we did a POC in my previous company where they asked us to work on this tech stack. So I have implemented with MongoDB in it. So that's the reason I was telling that.
POC machine, right?
Yes, yes. I no. I did a POC, a small kind of proof of concept, not POC machine. It's a proof of concept I have made for a small part of their menu in the kiosk machine, basically.
Yeah, a small piece of data means suppose just I give the one example
Hmm.
for your reference I am giving, but not need to for you giving the answer
Hmm.
because of suppose you have 1000 API, 10,000 APIs, okay?
Hmm. Hmm.
So that API you have want to validate with the particular token.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
you cannot blindly publish in the public domain, right? Because of
Yeah.
API is also need to be uh, put in validation manner. Means if you have token, if you have user ID password, so based on it will be validate through the Redis. So what you will do that Redis, if you once you have logged in, you have put the username and password. So one system is validated, so that basic details for validating all APIs. So every time it going to hit in the database, take the header, take the necessary detail like the token and everything. So it would be impacted to your database. So what you do that once you're logged in, you all necessary data you can take from the database and you put into the Redis. So once you one by one API you calling, so the that API would be validated through the Redis.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that scenario is beneficial. Other things no need to be right used to Redis because of that is have functionality in JPA
Yeah.
caching mechanism.
Yeah.
So, uh, so why we are using JPA? This is the my question.
So why we are using JPA? I mean, so it's basically an ORM, object to relation mapping. So
Hmm.
suppose in database whatever we are storing, that needs to be mapped to Java objects so that we can work on Java objects, because in Java everything is in the form of objects.
Hmm.
So for that reason, like JPA helps in mapping those, or maybe getting that persisting those records in a form of from objects to um, uh, database records, and from again if you want to retrieve, then
So
records to again
the fourth type of driver. You know the JPA template.
uh, JDBC template.
No, yeah, Spring JDBC template.
Yeah, so earlier
So
yeah, it
that
is. Yeah.
template can be used and put into the some bean classes. So that can be also make it as a program, and you can manage you whatever you want to think like that. You want to make it as Pojo. So
Mhm.
through the JPA template, you can make it as a Pojo because of JPA. Sorry, I'm telling JPA JDBC
JDBC.
template. So
Mm.
JDBC template, you have know the latest fourth type of driver you can utilize.
Mm.
Hmm. So that is also you can do. But I want to know main advantage. Advantage I am asking why we are using JPA. This is the question. You giving the programmatical answer. So programmatical answer if you are giving, so programmatically we can manage the all thing through
mm,
the JDBC template as well.
mm,
Hmm.
yeah. So I would say like benefits would be like it reduces. I mean, JPA as I mean, if we come to JPA's implementation is Hibernate, and if Hibernate in its code uses JDBC template or JDBC to connect to the
Yeah,
database.
that is okay, but
Yeah.
you a broad perspective. Just I give the reference because
Mm,
of JPA coding part is a database independent. Okay,
mm, mhm.
that's why we are using JPA. Just you change the dialect and change the database name, your code will
Yeah,
work. This is the
yeah,
main advantage. That's why we are using JPA.
yeah.
Dialect. If
Yes,
you
yes.
are using Oracle dialect, so you Oracle to MySQL, you use to MySQL dialect, and you
Yeah.
change the URL and driver name,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
use to some kind of uh, drivers. Just if you are using MySQL, so you can use a SQL connector. If you are using Oracle, so you can use the Oracle connector dependency. These
yeah.
two things is need to be changed. So company will tell you you use as of now because of the Oracle license is costly. I
Hmm.
want to migrate this application from Oracle to MySQL.
Mm,
So you have no much effort, just you
yeah,
change the this thing and start the testing. Somewhere we have found issues, so you can resolve it. So speed up process. Shortly you can implement the whole thing in MySQL. So this is
yeah.
the
The boiler.
advantage.
Yeah.
But in JDBC template it is not possible because of all database have some different kind of not all queries are similar according to whatever you writing in MySQL, whatever you writing in Oracle. So the query aspect it is not similar. Suppose you have written some function procedures, so that would be different type of in Oracle you have a different type of in SQL,
Yeah.
right?
And even if we write in native query, then also like we have to change it to the native query for that queries. And so that's why where the HQL, the Hibernate query language, the native query also gets converted to the Hibernate query languages, and
Yes.
then
So that is JPA is a better
yeah,
approach. If you are using Hibernate is also Hibernate is also it is a part of JPA as well.
JPA, yes,
Okay.
implementation of
Yes.
JPA.
So that's why I'm asking. What is difference between persistent, detached, and transient object? In Hibernate, this is very famous question.
Okay. Uh,
If you don't know, so we can move in other question. Not a problem. Just because of everything, I think don't know. So that is not a problem because you have mentioned in the your technical skill. That's why I ask you. So spring batch, you have worked on a spring batch or
yeah,
not?
I've worked on it.
So why we are using spring batch?
So basically, Spring Batch is you. I mean, we are using for any bulk operation. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, if, like suppose what I have worked on it is we are fetching data from different products basically.
Mm-hmm.
So now for each product data we want to collaborate, and each product data can be very huge in the sense
Mm-hmm.
like suppose we are basically getting the number of open tickets and number of queries happened, or number of so related to those products, the number of revenues maybe, or any other aspect of that products that needs to be collected. So
Mm-hmm.
that can be huge, and that can be on daily basis. I mean, it's a daily basis. So maybe in daily basis it can be a million, maybe. So for that reason, that's a bulk API, so bulk data. So we are fetching it through the API, and now that's as it's a bulk data. So if I mean if we use Spring Batch in that case, then it is very I mean it can break down to a very step by step process. Like
Hmm.
suppose first of all creating it in creating those records. I mean first of all maybe we are making those
So,
of.
yeah, means you want to tell about multi-threading programs we can write through the Spring Batch, right?
Yes.
So, multi-threading program we can write through the executor framework, right?
So yeah.
So,
So
why we are coming to the Spring Batch? Advantage just need to be asked advantage. That's why I'm asking you simple question.
so it's a step by step process. It's not kind of like purely I mean multi-threading will be automatically applied in this in these steps. Like if you are
Hmm.
executing those steps one go, let's suppose in the step context. So I mean in step executor maybe we are doing it parallelly in multiple threads. But
Hmm.
here first of all maybe in first step we are getting the initial data maybe, or
Hmm.
maybe our data maybe we are creating our records or the csv files for each records maybe
Hmm.
in the initial step,
Hmm.
and those csv files can be written in the second step in
Hmm.
again in parallel process. In each step can be a parallel process. So now in the second step maybe we are fetching the data and storing it in those csv files, and maybe in the third step we are updating those in the maybe uploading it to the cloud maybe, or maybe storing it somewhere some other places in the machine. So
Hmm.
those all steps can be done in step by step manner
Hmm.
in spring batch.
Okay. So, if just I move in core Java, basically here required the core Java concept.
Hmm.
So, in core Java, the OOPS concept.
Yeah.
So, how many types of features in OOPS?
So we have abstraction, polymorphism, we have inheritance and
Hmm.
encapsulations.
Okay.
So these are the four pillars of oops in java.
So, inheritance, what is the inheritance?
So the concept of inheritance means like if we are having a class and we want the class I mean we want some extended functionality maybe of that class.
Hmm.
So we can inherit a parent class to a base class. So we
Hmm.
can maybe extend that class, or if we have some interfaces we can also like implement those classes.
Hmm.
So basically inheritance means inheriting the parent objects, parent classes, and
Hmm.
those functionalities can be available in the child class.
So, suppose I make it as a class private.
Mm.
Hmm?
Hmm.
Can we write a class private?
Yeah, we can make a class private.
Hmm. You can make it a class private.
The inner class can be private.
Inner class will be private. I am
Yeah.
asking about the class.
Okay, normal. The normal class cannot be private, but the inner, I mean, classes inner class can be private. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Mm.
So, what is use of inner class?
So use of inner class means like suppose if we are maybe creating basically what we have used is like maybe if we have some properties in Spring Boot,
Hmm.
and those properties can be of maybe the first level of properties can be of some maybe some Oracle, and then some part of it, then maybe other some part of it will be matching with the other properties.
Hmm.
So the initial will be same, the other part will be same. So now we can break it into a object kind of thing. So in the inner classes we can maintain those rest of the parts, and the outer part also have some fields mapping to the outer properties of it.
Hmm.
So maybe in that scenarios inner class can be useful.
Can you write here program for singleton? How to make a singleton class?
Single.
You
So
write outside of this main method.
okay.
I think, yeah. I think you writing in same console public is it possible?
No, um, only one public class can be there. So Um, maybe we can have some, or if we don't need, then we don't want. Okay, fine.
You have written this, yes.
Yeah.
So you have written correct. Can you call in main method? So you create two singleton class object,
Okay.
and you check whether this hash code are equal or not.
I mean, we cannot create an object like this. So, okay, one second. We have to call this.
But it give be error. It will be give the error if you write
Sorry.
static. If you write public static singleton get object, it will give the
Huh.
error, compilation error.
Um.
Okay, you write, not a problem. You write. But I notice that it will give the compilation error. So yeah, please compare the hash code of these two objects. You just print here. You just print here the object. It will give
mm,
return true or false. Object one dot hash code. Just to write hash code equals, no,
Okay.
equals hash code equals. I think what you are writing. This hash code function is correct of the object one. Yeah, please compile and run. Just to write in custom import ABC, custom input test walk, write ABC and click on the compile and execute. You got error? Got error?
Yeah.
Why? static method can be used instance variable?
Oh, yeah. No, it should be. Um,
Not used, right?
yeah,
But I have noticed, I told you, but you not feel like that. That's why I don't have. No, so in that scenario, it will fail the compilation inside the main method.
yeah, correct. Maybe then. 1 second. So in that case, sorry, we can have this variable as static,
Hmm.
and it can be private static.
Okay.
And
Now
now
it
I
will
think,
work. Now compile. But here need to be initialize is equal to null. Private static variable.
okay, sorry, hash.
True.
Yeah,
So means you want tell like that this is the singleton.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next question to you:
Hmm.
what is behavior of final class, immutable class?
Hmm.
Can you explain about that?
So final class cannot be, I mean, it cannot be inherited by some other class,
Hmm.
as we don't want to change the in maybe the functionality of any of the methods of it, or by overriding those functionalities. So basically, for immutability, like not changing the state of the objects once created, then we can use the final keyword in the class, so that it to make them basically the immutable.
Any
And
other behaviors?
any other behavior, to,
Can we
I
use
mean,
setter method in final class?
um, yeah, we can use setter methods in, I mean,
So
we
I
can have
think
setter methods.
setter will change your value of immutable class.
So um, uh, it, I mean, setter method can have, but I mean, we have to take care of while setting that it shouldn't
No,
change the state.
no. Whatever you want to achieve, you just initialize in constructor, private constructor.
Hmm,
You
yeah,
can achieve through the get method. No need to be write a setter. Setter will
setter method.
definitely change your value of
Yeah,
immutable class.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, we can have, but we shouldn't have in a final class. So
No.
I mean, to achieve the
Final class will not maintain the setter method.
setter methods, yeah, we shouldn't have the setter methods.
Even if you want to write private, public, final, without final, that is okay.
Hmm.
Because of if your class is marked as a final, so that class will never extended by any other class.
Yeah.
And if you mark as a constructor as a private, it will provide the additional um, uh, security feature for immutability,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So whatever we want to, suppose why I am telling, if you want to retrieve the data from the table, so you can retrieve into the constructor. Through the constructor you can get the value through the getter method.
Hmm.
But here need to be write the logical thing.
Yeah.
So you know throwable class.
Throwable class.
Hmm.
um, basically like throwable means like the exception throws throwable class.
Hmm. So
Yeah,
throwable is a parent class of exception class or child class of exception class.
throwable is the parent class of exception
So
class.
throwable, how many types of exception range? Exception class. How many types of exception class of throwable class?
How many class are having I
In
mean
throwable. Child class. You
child
can,
classes of
yeah.
throwable? Okay. So one is exception,
Hmm.
another is uh, not recalling right now.
Error,
Uh,
error,
Sorry.
error.
Yeah, error class is also.
So error class can be controlled through the programmatically. If error is found, can you give the example of error?
Example of error may be like any um, any syntax mistake can be an error.
No. This is the
It's
checked
a
exception.
sorry.
This is compilation error. Or you
Yeah.
can say checked exception as well if you feel like that.
Okay.
So what is out of memory? Out of memory
Is an error
error. So when it will come?
when suppose if we are running like suppose maybe looping to in infinite can cause that out of memory, or maybe array is having a definite length and I'm going beyond that.
So you know the out of memory full stack,
Hmm.
right? If the
Yeah.
memory issues comes, so in that cases it will generate the errors. So
Yeah.
suppose this out of memory error is come. So how do you resolve? Through the programming. What you checklist you make it, why it is came.
So out of memory can occur like basically it will obviously occur due to the memory full issue. So
Hmm.
maybe we can I mean if checking it can depend upon the context, but maybe I can have some log or debug point or something which can give me the maximum length which is crossing, or
No,
uh,
no. Because of out of memory is coming means your server is failing due to the not sufficient memory. That's why
hmm,
failing. But
yeah.
root cause is telling different. Why it is rage, why it is came. So that things I want to know how to find how to resolve through the programmatically. I'm just telling you this is out of memory issue which comes through the incorrect programming concept. So what do you think check? I'm not telling hardware related. If
Hmm,
your programming concept is okay, then we'll go on the hardware concept. Means we can increase the hardware, we can increase the size of Tomcat allocation memory or JDK allocation memory. That is the different thing. All is proper.
hmm. If all is proper, then I mean from software perspective, like the out of memory can occur maybe due to um, if we are storing unnecessary like records. So suppose we are fetching heavy data and we don't need to store it in memory,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and in that case like maybe we are fetching, suppose database is having millions of record, and
Mm.
the server cannot handle those millions of record in memory at a time, and we are forcefully taking it, and
No,
maybe we
no,
are
no,
not
no, no,
necessary.
no. If suppose your have a 1 GB data, for example, you have 1 GB data you retrieve from the database.
Hmm,
If you programmatically and logically you are correct, so it will take time.
hmm,
Okay,
hmm,
but your hardware have sufficient memory because of if you are using AWS cloud, so cloud have no issue on the memory related,
hmm,
but we got out of memory issue sometime. I think if you are looking the production issue, you have
Mm.
faced this such kind of things. So how do you have resolved this kind of thing? This will
Um,
come some programmatically leakage. Programmatically leakage in the sense, suppose
if while
you
loop
have
is
proper connection, setup is not managed, okay,
mm-hmm,
unwanted object are parallelly storing in the runtime environment,
mm-hmm,
you have not properly managed the garbage collections, you have connection leakage, data source connection leakage, it is not going to completely close if you are using Hibernate or something, open session, but you have not closed the session, you forget the closing the session. In that scenario, it is coming um, this out of memory.
out of memory. Yeah.
You got my point?
Yes. Yes.
So that's why in the beginning I have asked this is the programmatical error. So how do you deal it? That's why I am telling you.
Yeah.
If your connections, if you are using JPA, inside the JPA you are using the connection factory, but your connection you have opened, transaction you have done, but you have not committed, and thereafter you have not closed the session, then you will get such kind of errors. Because of this connection will open, then another request will come, it will take another session of session factory, it is also open. So by looping, n numbers of users are trying to connect with new session, so in that time it will be hang out,
Yeah.
give the out of memory error,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So in database side, what do you know?
Basically, I've worked on writing queries in Oracle and to fetch the records out of it, and also, so yeah, something like that.
Okay, so
Mm.
you know union all.
Yeah.
So why we are using union all?
So union is basically to combine two tables, and if we do union, then all records will be combined and single in a single table.
Hmm. Okay. 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 I think time is going over. So let's see. I will give the feedback to HR. So
Okay.
let's we discuss about your process. Then we'll called by your HR. Okay. You
Okay.
have any other question?
So I want to know, like, this is the product which I will be, I mean, which will be going to be, we will be going to be deployed in that product. So it's basically, I heard that it's a newly acquired product. So what will be the tech stack for it, if I can
No,
get?
actually here we are hiring the full stack developer. Okay.
Okay.
So that things I know that, but which project they will deploy it, actually that things I am not much aware about. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
that things if you got selected, you will ask to HR because of HR is have engaged with the management level, so they can
Mm.
give the clarity about that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, dear.
Thank you, Vipin.
Thank you. चलो बाहर चलो चलो